In the past, it was very, very, very poor self-image, just like really not finding value in myself at all. Now, it's much less that and more, I don't want to live in this world. It's just very bitter and angry and hateful, like all of the wrong things just keep happening and millions of people support it. And I can't.
Hey there, my name is Sean, and this is Suicide Noted. On this podcast, I talk with suicide attempt survivors and ideators so that we can hear their stories. Every year around the world, millions and millions of people try to take their own lives. We almost never talk about it. We certainly don't talk about it enough. And when we do talk about it, when we engage with people in pain, most of us are not very good at it. In fact, most of us suck at it. So one of my goals with this podcast is to have more conversations and hopefully better conversations with survivors, in large part to help them feel, hopefully, a little less shitty and a little less alone. Now, if you are a suicide attempt survivor or ideator and you'd like to talk, I'd love to talk with you. Please reach out. hello@suicidenoted.com. You can learn more about this podcast on Spotify and Apple. Explore around there. You'll see all the links, including one to our website, suicidenoted.com. You can always reach out and message me. I'm happy to talk, answer any questions you have. Keep in mind, we've got a weekly poll on Spotify. We'd love your thoughts on that. And if you could give us a rating on Apple, that helps. 5-star, of course, is ideal if you think we've earned it. Finally, we're talking about suicide on this podcast, as we always do. Every Monday and on some Thursdays, my guests and I, we don't hold back, so please take that into account before you listen or as you listen. But I do hope you listen because there is so much to learn. Now, that is the closest I get to a trigger warning, but today I'm doing something a little different. Not a trigger warning about suicide, but should you listen to this entire episode, at about the 1 hour mark, we start talking politics. That's your trigger warning. Now, it is relevant to my guest's story and his struggle, so I included it. That said, today I am talking with Chris. Chris lives in New Jersey, the Garden State, and he is a suicide attempt survivor. Chris.
Bro, could we look more alike, but you're just a younger fucking version of me, which pisses me off?
Sorry.
Oh, hey, Sean, I want to get together. I look like you. I'm slightly better looking, and I'm 15 years younger. I should have been like, you know what? No. How about we don't talk?
Hey, man, you're the one with the show, so.
Not just a show, award-winning. No, I'm just kidding. You know, everyone does that shit. Everyone's always like patting themselves on the back.
Yes.
Like, that's an award-winning. I'm like, what? No. What award did you win?
Yeah, right.
I'm award-winning,
From whom?
Selling. It's like, who gives a shit? Clearly, though, I'm not Joe Rogan.
Yeah, well.
But I'm decent at what I do, my friend. I actually think I'm pretty good at it.
I think you're better. You don't feed people bullshit and poison the American populace.
Chris is in his 30s.
Yeah, 34.
Early afternoon, East Coast.
Here in Jersey, it's 2:30 on a Saturday.
Actually, I just talked to somebody earlier this week from New Jersey, too, and I've only had a few of you all.
Really?
Yeah. Where are the Jersey people?
What the hell? There's a lot of New Yorkers.
Right. Yeah, I'm from New York. Did you know that?
So am I. I'm from Staten Island.
Okay, now the conversation just got real.
Yep.
Now, so inside jokes people won't appreciate if they're not from at least the tri-state area, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
But, Staten Island's got a bit of a, and it's a reputation, but it's unfair, but, why don't you characterize how others view Staten Island in the sort of more stereotypical way?
Like belligerently Italian.
Is that a nice way of saying what I think you're saying?
Yeah, I think so. It's a lot of Goombas, or it used to be.
We can say, I believe, of the 5 boroughs, and if you're listening to this and you don't know what a borough is, please Google it. All right, me and Chris are rolling our eyes right now.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're counties. They just have special names because New Yorkers are special.
Mm-hmm.
And Staten Island is the only one that is and or voted red. I think
Yeah.
that's true.
Pretty consistently, yeah.
But you left and now you're in Jersey.
Yeah, I left when my family moved to Jersey when I was, like 8, and then I grew up in Central Jersey, and I've been in South Jersey for about 13 years.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, you went from Staten Island to Central Jersey, spent some time there, went south, and then are we going to Delaware anytime in the next decade? Or are you going to keep moving south?
No, I did have an interview with UDEL, but, it didn't work out, so
Oh, how many podcasts have you ever been on?
none.
Okay. I'm honored, not just because of that, of course, because you're
Yeah.
willing to talk about things that I'm going to guess, and we'll get into it.
Mhm.
I'm guessing that not a lot of people know about what you wrote me in that. It was a
Yeah.
brief, but straight to the point email.
Yeah. Yeah, not too many people.
I know that you are married.
Mhm.
I know that you have, was it 1 or 2 children?
1 kid.
1 kid.
He's 2 years old, yeah.
Oh, right. That's why the numbers are getting crisscrossed in my
Yeah.
brain. I know that you are smart. You're a smart man who has either an advanced degree in the humanities.
Yep.
Tell me this, in its simplest terms, like I'm a 3rd grader. And by the way, that is the appropriate way to speak with me because that's how I
Mhm.
understand things. What
Okay.
is humanities?
Humanities is just the study of the human race and everything that it produces.
So could you argue that my podcast is literally that?
I wouldn't, quarrel with it. No, I wouldn't.
I'm cool with quarreling, by the way.
Yeah, it probably fits somewhere between sociology and psych,
Mm.
which I guess are social sciences, not humanities.
Have there been any episodes that stood out for you that really resonated?
Yeah, the one, I guess it was a recent one. What was Jerry from Texas?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that was a heartbreaker.
Yeah. I mean, there's 2 people I know who have ended their lives that I've spoken to.
Fuck.
I'm sure that there are more.
Oh, no.
It's okay. It's not
Yeah.
okay, but it's okay. It's part of my work, and if it freaked me out, I would be bad at this.
Yeah, right, true.
I just wouldn't be very good at it because
Very
part of our conversation, should you say the word, I'm thinking about it, or sometimes I think about it, it would be probably like, oh, but Chris, your family loves you. It's like there would be no podcast,
Mhm. Right.
or the tone of it would be so different.
Yeah, and those usually aren't, like, productive conversations anyway, like, you've heard
Correct.
that before, you know?
You've heard it before.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you've existed in the world and shared this with
yeah.
anybody, there's one
And
of
also,
12.
it has occurred to me before, like like, I
Right,
didn't
right,
I didn't
right.
ponder this and not think of my family.
Right. No, of course.
Yeah,
Like as if this is like shockingly new original
yeah.
information someone's sharing with you.
Mhm.
I've been married for 14 years. I have a beautiful child. And the thought of taking myself out, I didn't even consider them.
Mhm. Yeah,
Never crossed my mind.
not one time.
No, just was, yeah. Now there are people, and we can get into this. It might apply to you. I don't know. If you go back enough, should you just
Mhm,
binge this shit sometime?
mhm.
And I only know what they share. I mean, the state of mind they are when we're talking on that particular day, right? Their world gets so small that the idea of considering others, whilst might have been on their mind at some point, does fade away a little bit because the
Yeah,
pain is sometimes the pain is too great, or maybe they're in they have a particular kind of, for lack of a better word, diagnosis of which I'm not
mhm,
familiar with and I don't have. But I don't know what happens when you're in a certain kind of, let's say you have schizophrenia and you're
mhm.
breaking, right? I don't know what that feels like. Maybe you can't think of
Right.
other people. I have no idea.
That kinda I guess this is presaging one of your questions with the myths thing. It's both selfish and not selfish, right? Because like, it always occurs to someone going through the shit, "What's this gonna do to my family?"
Hmm.
But then the other end of it too is, like, you could think it could occur to you, and it's occurred to me, like, not now, but in the past, that maybe they'd be better off without me. To me, that's selfish thinking because it's like in that moment, you are only thinking about you and the wrong things that you think are wrong with you. You know what I mean?
I think also, and we could spend time on words, right? And
Yeah.
because how exactly are we defining selfish?
Mhm.
It's certainly give me a little latitude with word choice, but it's certainly
Sure.
centered on self.
Yeah.
I've had interesting conversations where it's flipped, Well, isn't there a degree of selfishness for those people in my life who want me to stick around even though I've been in 20 years of constant pain?
Mm,
Could you make that argument?
mm,
I don't know.
yeah. No, definitely.
I think one of the beauties of all this, maybe not beauties, but certainly fascinating for me is like these ideas can coexist.
Well, that was my, I guess my overall point was like with anything, there's going to be a mix of both. So it can never just be, most things are not just going to be selfish or not selfish. There's always
Yeah.
like a middle ground there.
For me, when people can sit with the coexistence of ideas, I have a word for that. And it's actually
Mhm.
maybe a word you would appreciate and one that
Mhm.
seems, at least in, I don't know, social media, maybe in some academia and certainly elsewhere, is less and less. It seems to be a little harder to find. The word
Right.
in which one can sit with when two or more ideas coexist is called intelligence.
Right.
It's
Right.
just a
Being intelligent,
weird. It's just a weird idea. I'm
having
coming. Yeah.
2 plus thoughts in your head at the same time.
Right. It's called
Yeah.
con. It's called conflict. It's the center of any good
Right.
story ever told.
Right.
Um,
Tension.
all right, so let's establish this because the audience probably will never see you. You and I are both bald.
Yes.
We both at this moment are wearing glasses.
Yes.
You're in the United States. I am not.
Mhm.
You sent me an email. You were on the fence about talking. I want to know what it was weeks or months ago. Wait, hold up. Did I even thank you for joining me here? Shit, I did it again. Thanks,
No,
man.
and I'm offended.
Yeah, it's a great way to. It's a great way to start, isn't it?
Fuck you, Sean. I wanted
Th-
thanks. That's why I'm here.
Thank you, Chris, for being here and joining me.
Eh,
How is it that you stumbled upon a copy and you did, and that's not an accident. Don't tell me it came next to. You were not on Spotify, and it said Joe Rogan, crime junkies, suicide noted. It didn't just come up in your feed. So how
yeah.
did you stumble upon it?
Honestly, I was entering into a bout of pretty deep depression, and I just was looking for mental health podcasts, which is just something that I do whenever I get into this mode or start heading into this mode.
Mhm.
And I forget what site it was, but you were listed. Suicide Noted was listed like second or third in a list of like 20 shows, and I knew the first and second one, or
Mhm.
the first one if this was second or third, and then I just decided, hey, that seems interesting, and then I
Yeah.
got sucked in.
Should I be offended that I'm not number one and I'm number two or three?
They didn't really explain the ranking system, so I don't know. I don't know. Could have been arbitrary. They didn't say.
I legitimately tell you if you find a podcast, and I don't mean like my style because I have my own style. Tell me if you ever find another podcast which people have open conversations about suicide with attempt survivors. I just don't
Yeah,
think it exists. It's so weird. It should.
yeah, I don't think so.
Mhm.
Not devoted to it.
Correct.
Anyway, yeah,
Yeah, there might be like episode number 111 in some other podcast, right?
right. Where it
And they're
comes
probably
into.
fucking weird about it and say weird shit. Who knows? They might be great at it. I don't know. I don't think I'm the best in the world, but I'm top three.
Yeah, sure.
So you were in a deep depression,
Yeah.
and this was what in like summer, fall.
No, man. I honestly, in between finding the show and then contacting you was maybe a week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it happened very quickly, and I was just very intrigued because I don't know, man. Like shows like this, not exactly like this, but like interview shows, they're always centered on like some celebrity, some like jerk off, and it's like,
Hmm.
I don't know, man. I think that nobody talks to normal people, and like we go through shit too.
Right.
And I find that more relatable than, you know, uh, whatever Ben Affleck is going through with J Lo.
Right.
Like
Are they still together?
no,
Now, but it would be a good time if in any underground circles, if you are a celebrity, we might as well just get that out there right now.
yeah,
No,
yeah, no. I don't know that I'm a celebrity of any kind.
you're just Chris in Central New Jersey, Southern New Jersey.
Yep.
Yeah. It's kind of boring, but everyone's life is mostly boring.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there's fun stuff here and there. Life is a very long time. So I mean,
Wait, Chris, hold up. I think we might have option number one for your memoir title right out of
yeah,
holy shit. Wait,
that's a good
life
one.
it's actually a very, very good one. And now you know it needs a subtitle, but we don't have to do it all at once.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So life is a very long time. And for Chris, it's been, I think if you're 34, that means you're in your 35th year, if I understand how that
Hmm.
works.
Yeah.
In Korea, they do it differently if you're wondering, but that's another show.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think they do it like 0 to 1 is like when you're in the womb. We could have somebody join us from South Korea, or
Yeah,
maybe
maybe.
we could do North Korea too, but good luck with that shit.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, hey, if you'll get an award if you get
Yes.
someone from North Korea.
One of my goals is actually to have more conversations with people in places like that are like really hard to find people, but
Mhm,
obviously they need
mhm.
Wi-Fi access, they need to speak some English. But
Sure.
you're right.
Sure.
If I can get North Korea, I might just retire.
You would be able to.
Yeah, I mean,
100%.
done. So you're going through depression. You find the podcast.
Mhm.
Now, I would say, if I'm guessing, 99% of people who find the podcast don't reach out. So why do you want to talk with me in this context where other people hear it, ultimately?
Well, I thought it would be good for me and for your audience. I think the show is just good for your audience, but
Thanks.
I thought that it sounded like something I wanted to contribute to, something that I could get something out of, psychologically. The past few have been not ideationers, it's been attempters. And yeah, I've never I don't think I've attempted.
Wait, hold up.
Yeah.
In my experience, if someone attempts, they know it.
So I bought a bunch of pills when I was like a teenager with the intent to,
Mm-hmm.
and then I took a bunch of them, just got really high, and then never tried again. I threw them out. So I don't know if that's like an attempt. I don't think that's an attempt. So it's more ideation. Yeah.
How long have you been ideating? Do you know when that started?
Probably around 15, 16 years old.
Was there something? These get tricky, so it's like
Hmm.
speculative, I suppose. Though maybe if you've spent a dozen years in a therapist's office, you have like clear, crisp answers. I don't know. And you have any idea why those ideations started?
Not really. It's not even like something that I've been in therapy, in and out of therapy since, and I have a great one right now, but never got to the root of the ideation. The depression, I have an inkling of where the depression and anxiety comes from, but not the ideation.
Well, beyond any potentially and presumably unknowable genetic components. Yeah, where's the depression come from?
Well, there's two major things that get centered in these conversations with my shrinks. One was the move from New York to New Jersey was a big
Mm-hmm.
traumatic moment. And then
Mm-hmm.
when I was like 15, my cousin and a good friend died in a car accident. And at that moment, around that time, I was also in a band with some good friends. And then right before the accident, I'd gotten fired from the band, and then none of those guys came to like my support at all. So I kind of I was very alone, kind of just retreated into myself. Some people did like come out of the woodwork to offer support, but I just wasn't in the headspace to either realize it or accept it at the time. But those are the two catalyzing moments.
What instrument did you play?
I play guitar, but in the band, I was a vocalist.
Oh, oh God, you must have gotten a lot of girls.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, not at all. We were a death metal band, so that doesn't make sense.
But death metal, vocal, guitar. That's cool. Do you still
Yeah.
play guitar?
I still play guitar, yeah.
Man, I've always wanted to learn guitar. I always try, and then my fingers hurt, and I quit. I break the guitar.
You gotta break past that, man.
I know, Chris. Believe me, man. And piano. That's actually like I'm serious. Like top 5 regrets of people in general I talk to is
Mhm.
I wanted to learn an instrument.
Honestly, me too. I
Mm.
wish I learned how to play piano. So there you
Yeah.
go. I could level with you.
Yeah. No, I mean it's a thing. It's a real thing. When you are so that's when the ideations start. Teenage. When was the I guess we can call it incident with the pills and the kind of quasi attempt we can call it.
Same around the same time. It was like 15, 16.
And then since then, do you ideate at all regularly, somewhat once in a while?
Yeah, pretty regularly. Usually definitely seasonal. The past couple winters I have. Prior to that, I had in a few years. But I was in grad school, so I think that was eating up a lot of that headspace.
And if people are wondering, we're talking in early December, and Chris lives in New Jersey, so it's already getting cold. 25 Fahrenheit. I have a global
Yes.
audience, Chris.
Yeah, sorry.
Which should be what, about -1 or 2, something like that. So
I have no idea.
I don't either. I'll probably get an email being like,
Who
"What
knows?
the fuck are you talking about?" But it gets cold. It gets dark. Sometimes there's snow.
No snow yet, but it's been gray for over a month.
In all the time since you started ideating, so it's been
Mhm.
about 20 years, more or less, you've had, yeah, you said shrinks, so it's plural, more than one.
Yeah.
You now have a wife. I am imagining, but you'll tell me if I'm wrong. Throughout this conversation, there
Mhm.
have been friends, there have probably been girlfriends, there have probably been coworkers,
Mhm.
and so on. How many people know that Chris ideates?
5 or 6?
Okay. So there's some people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Close group of friends, wife. As of the past year, my parents.
And why did you tell your parents last year? Did something, why did that change?
I ended up going to the emergency room. My therapist at the time, we were mid-session, and, she determined that I was, planning, which is not what I thought I was doing, but I had it explained to me later that that's what I was doing was. And, so she called 911, and my wife, who is an accountant, she's in the middle of tax season, and she's watching the baby while I was, in a session. We'll probably get into it, but long story short, I ended up having to call my one of my parents in to try to help us watch the baby so that my wife could work. I could go to the emergency room and not have, like, everything collapse. So that's that. I didn't want them to know, or at least not,
Mhm.
not that way. But yeah, that's why they know.
Were you planning?
So we were in a conversation about ideating. I guess I brought up that I had been feeling like that way for a little bit,
Mhm.
and that she just, she was a very forward person, and she just asked, like, "Are you planning?" I was like, "Well, I don't know what planning would be, but like I know how I would do it, but I don't know that I don't have like a date and time." And so that was enough to call in the authorities.
Everything about that bothers me.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just me. Yeah, it
Mhm.
does. It bothers me a lot
Okay, what
because,
part? What's because 'cause I've
well,
been ruminating on it, and I haven't really
well,
digested it yet.
I'm just a guy.
Mhm.
I'm like, that's it. I mean, I have a couple letters after my name. They have nothing to do with psych stuff.
Sure.
Almost everybody who ideates thinks at one point or another about method.
Mhm.
I think it's a natural thing to do. That
Mhm.
might be like, once a week, I pick my kids up and I go over a tall bridge and, I think about it. Am I going to do it?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
very unlikely. I just think it's very normal, normal meaning common. And so for you to be honest in answering that question, because as far as I understand it, and, your therapist would see it differently, and she's qualified, and she's also the one that probably loses her job if you kill yourself. Let's just be clear
Sure.
about that. There's a reason why the imminent risk questions, which there are some problems I believe with imminent risk questions. There's a really good book called Rethinking Suicide that addresses this. It's one of the only
Mhm.
books I've ever gotten into that I think like I agree with what they're saying. But there are imminent risk questions because those are the questions people ask to see. All right, should someone else get involved here? Right?
Yeah.
Those questions always involve time. It's an interesting choice. Now that said, she knows you very well. You've been speaking regularly for some period of time, so that's part of it too.
Yeah.
So how honest are you going to be with her next time?
Well, after that, she refused. I had to go in a program, and she refused to take me on again, so I had to find a new one. But, I've felt very, very, comfortable with my new one, and I've been
Good.
seeing her for, I guess it's like 9 months, 10 months now.
Mhm. Let's just say she would have taken you back. I mean, I would imagine it obviously this is a bit of a loaded question, but how quick are you gonna talk to her about these things?
Not very quick at all.
Right, right.
I even said it to my wife. I was like, "I'll never go through what I just went through at the hospital again. If I start ideating again, I'm not telling fucking anyone." Just
Exactly.
because yeah.
So if we really wanna talk about one of the reasons, and this does not get discussed much,
Mhm.
why people ultimately take their lives. There's all kinds of contributing factors, right?
Yeah.
All kinds, but one that doesn't get discussed much is exactly what you just said. And I want to hear about the hospital in a moment.
Sure.
Is I went to this place, I'll never go back. I
Mhm.
told this person I trust, I'll never do that again. And for some people, at least from those I've spoken to, they don't go to any therapist ever again.
Mm.
Now what are they gonna do? So anyway, we don't have to get into this, but like all these
Sure.
campaigns you see on social media for really large organizations, but we'll just talk about it. It's like, let's talk about just talking about it.
Right. Right.
Let's look at all the avenues, not just the ones that are shiny that make you fucking get donations.
Yeah, right. That you're comfortable with.
When she makes that call to 911, what happens? Like an ambulance comes?
Yeah, an ambulance and the police came.
The
Um,
police.
yeah, yeah.
What were you gonna do? Shoot up your neighborhood?
I guess it's just like a wellness check or something. I don't really know why the police showed up, but I guess I don't know if it's a Jersey thing, but they kind of just show up whenever you call 911.
Okay.
In my experience, that's the case. But yeah, no, adding to the adding like insult to injury, I guess you know you're divulging in someone that you trust. It kind of like called back to like the last time I did try to reach out during a period of ideation, and I did it with. They probably will listen to this, so I don't want to say exactly who it was. But when I was a teenager, I tried to reach out to someone, and they made it about them. Like, how do
Yep.
you, that makes me feel, or
Right.
that kind of shit. In between 15, 16 to 33, you know, I had ideated in between then. And the only person I reached out to during that time was one close friend more recently, but before that was the hotline.
Oh, the at the time it probably wasn't 988, but it was the
Yeah,
equivalent
no.
of.
Yeah, it was no, it was the full what is it? 14-digit number, whatever the fuck the 10-digit
Right.
number.
Right. They shaved 11 numbers up and it's magically different now. It's
Yeah,
just
right.
yeah, right, right. All right. So if you well, there's some reason you called there, so I imagine you got something from it. Mixed people share mixed things with me about that experience, but no one's suggesting it's a panacea, of course, but it's a stopgap, I suppose.
Yeah.
When you went to the hospital in Jersey, I assume, I'm imagining the ambulance isn't taking you to fucking Utah because I don't know, that'd just be a far drive, and you'd probably
Yeah.
get billed for that anyway. We can talk about that, but
And I got billed for the fucking ambulance that I didn't take.
oh,
So
you didn't take the ambulance.
no,
Why not?
I could drive, but I got billed. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
So,
we challenged it, and like I didn't have to pay for it, but yeah, I got billed for an ambulance I didn't take.
so how long do you stay in the hospital for?
It was only a day.
Hmm.
I'm still paying off the debt from that day.
Wow. Oh, wait. So how much was it? Just say.
It was in excess of 1,000, but it was less than 1,500. So in between there,
And how long were you there for?
I was there for a day. Yeah,
Okay, so like 10 hours.
yeah, probably like 10, 12 hours. Yeah,
Okay, so at a minimum, it's $100 an hour.
right,
Do you know how many things in the world you could have done for $100 an hour that would have probably been much better for your mental health?
right.
$100 an hour is like a high level massage.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have dealt with what I had to deal with.
No, so tell me about what happens. You go in and what's the experience like for you?
So I park my car, I go in. I'm like really fucking. It's the emergency room, and there's tons of people in there. So it's like, in order to get back there, you have to tell like the front office why you're there.
Mm-hmm.
And I should probably say it's the hospital's in Camden, and the emergency room is like bulletproof glass. There's like
Mm-hmm.
metal detectors. There's a
Mm-hmm.
two-way. You have to get So you go through all of that, and it's already nerve-wracking. And then you go to like the front desk, and they can't hear you very well because there's a big plastic sheet in front, but there's a line
Mm-hmm.
behind you and a bunch of people, and you're self-conscious. I'm like,
Let's
hey,
make this as like as public as possible.
yeah, exactly. So I'm like, I'm getting like a weirdo. I'm getting all close up to like the hole in the plastic. I'm like, hey, I'm here to check myself in. They're like, why are you here? I'm like, I'm suicidal. So I don't know. Do I just sit down? They're like, no, go over
Mhm.
here. And then, you go through the double doors, they take you in. Maybe I waited maybe like 15 minutes. They took my phone, all my clothes. I had to get into scrubs. They gave me either they were like off white or white, like those shitty, like almost like rubber plastic socks.
Yeah. Because
You know
you
what I
don't
mean?
want to. You don't want. The last thing you want to do in Camden, New Jersey, is be slipping
Yeah.
and sliding all over the goddamn hospital
Oh yeah.
floor.
Oh
So
yeah.
all right. So now you're stable
Hmm.
because you got your socks on.
I got my socks with no heels. Yep.
Okay.
No, you know what I mean? Like socks, like you pull them on, there's a place for your heels. These are just like they're flat until you put them on.
So one wonders if they're trying to cut costs by not including the heels.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're not
So,
elastic.
sorry, Chris. Times are tight. We're going to cut the heels and we're going to bill you a little bit more per hour
Right.
here because, you know what I mean? Someone's got to pay the fucking bills, buddy.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
So you get marched down some hallway and what happens?
Check in all my clothes, my phone, my wallet, all of that. Then they put me in these scrubs, and they give me a hospital bed to wait for tests and all this shit. And it's a packed house, and there's armed guards in there.
Right.
One of them was in there for some belligerent activity in one of the rooms. They put me next to a guy who was withdrawing from meth, I found out, and he's like going through it, and he's homeless. So it's like that's fucking heartbreaking. That was like the process. And then I was in that bed for 3 or 4 hours, and then made me do like a piss test, and they took my blood, waited there for 3 hours to get results. Then they moved me to another room that was just chairs, and I spent the rest of the time in there. And in there were people like withdrawing and just trying to find like a bed to sleep in for a few of them, and armed guards. Yeah, so that was in a nutshell what went down.
Yeah, I mean, because Chris, we talk about this, and certainly the mental health talks about it all the time, especially when you're in any sort of like narrative space. Someone's going to talk about it. We want them to be safe. We want the audience to be safe, 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 safe. So this is a perfect reflection of how our system helps people feel safe. You just nailed it. That was a great description of how safe you must have felt.
Yeah.
For $114 an hour in a place that you actually, from what it sounds like, didn't belong.
I don't think I belong there. No, I don't feel like saying that if I were to kill myself, it would be off the Walt Whitman Bridge warrants going to the emergency room.
I do appreciate the specificity.
Yeah.
Don't you think, and people will push back on this, that you, particularly as we're talking months later, this is upon reflection, that you're the one that gets to decide if you get to be there or not, or should be there or not?
I wish that were true. Yeah.
If you told me, like, I am bipolar, I am schizophrenia. Admittedly, I don't know a ton about those conditions, and there are times in which you are legit, like, quote, not in your right mind. Okay, then I'm open to that argument for sure.
Right.
You cannot make a decision because the last time you made a decision, you did this thing, and it's very concerning. Okay, this doesn't sound like you're that kind of guy. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I mean, I'm pretty thoughtful about my decisions, and I'm pretty. After 20 years of, yes, multiple therapists, but 20 years of therapy, I'm pretty in touch with how I'm feeling and what I'm thinking. And obviously, I divulged to this person that this is how I was feeling. I trusted them enough, and that bit me in the ass. Like, if I really wanted to do it, like, I probably would have said something. But I don't know. I guess you don't know until you know. I didn't tell anybody for 20 years in between then, so.
I mean, we can make the argument that if you really want to do it, and I am not encouraging, you do it. If you really want to do it, you know what you do?
I believe that too. Yeah, I believe that too.
If you really want to do it, you do it.
True story.
I mean, really would be all caps, really. And people will hear that and say how awful it is. And like, I don't want people in their lives. Just let's be really clear.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that.
Like, no, but it is true. It's
true. But we don't like to talk about truth sometimes. We do. Me and you do. We're cool. Yeah. You're fucking humanities guys, after all. Jesus.
Yeah. Right.
Humanities. Human.
And
then the suffix.
Yep.
I mean, it can't get more real than that.
Yeah.
Who's like the biggest humanities person ever in history? Like, who's the humanities guru?
Oh, man. I guess it depends on the discipline.
Yeah.
In my field, it would be probably W.B. Du Bois.
Wait, what's your field?
I got a PhD in African American studies.
God damn, you black?
No.
Oh, you don't look black.
Yeah.
So why did you study W.B.? Why him?
Well, he's just brilliant. I mean, he's basically the pioneer of American sociology. He's a pioneer in the study of Black history and Black life. Just a polymath, and he wrote a series of novels. He wrote poetry. He was a journalist.
Way smarter than me.
Way smarter than most people. Yeah.
The name is just tough to pronounce.
So W.E.B. is William Edward Burgard Du Bois.
Du Bois, is that French?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dubois of the wood.
Dubois sounds cool.
Yeah.
Dubois. All right. Any regrets in getting a PhD in that? Or are you grateful? You appreciate that you got that particular PhD?
On and off. I've taught it for 7 years, and that's been the most rewarding thing ever. And
Mm.
I love what I teach and what I study and everything that it provided that way. I don't regret getting the PhD in it. Maybe I regret going where I went to get it, but
Mm.
at the end, I think that the trials and tribulations of where I went to get it actually made me stronger as an academic and a teacher. So
I think you went to Rutgers.
no, I went to school in Philadelphia. There was a big problem between me and my advisor.
Hmm.
I almost didn't graduate, so I just would rather.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to push
Yeah.
you on that, but I just also want you to know it's not actually always sunny in Philadelphia. You know that.
It's yes, very true.
And
And
that,
actually, when it is smelly, when it is sunny in Philadelphia, it's usually smelly. So
and we could say the same about Camden,
very true, very
which
true.
is, for people who are wondering, close to Philadelphia.
Yes, right over the bridge.
But that's not the bridge that you were thinking about. You were thinking about the Walt Whitman Bridge.
That's one of the. There's 3 bridges that go across from. Well, no, the Walt goes from Camden to Philly, and then
Oh,
the one
okay.
up and the Ben Franklin that goes into Pennsauken, and then there's the Betsy Ross, which goes into I forget
Oh,
Elmira.
all right. So we have Walt Whitman, Betsy Ross, and Ben Franklin.
Yep,
Now, where's the fucking bridge named after W.E.D. Du Bois?
that's what I'm saying, man.
Like, why doesn't he get a bridge?
Right?
Come on.
Unfortunately, in this country, you'd probably get like a footbridge over like a small stream,
Oh, gosh.
but it would be something.
I hope that little nugget is included in your curricula.
Yeah, right.
What's the name? What's the name of the class that you teach?
I've taught African American History 1, so that's everything pre-Reconstruction, so 1877.
Mm-hmm.
I've taught a Africana Studies seminar, and I just finished up with a world history course, which was a lot of work, but very rewarding.
And where do you teach?
At Rowan University and Rowan College, one of the satellite campuses.
That means you started teaching in your 20s.
28 or 27,
Right.
yeah.
As somebody, who started teaching also lower level, but nonetheless, you're in front of other people, can be very scary. When you're in your late 20s and you're not much older, and perhaps in some cases younger than some of your students, was that hard?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You get out of the hospital, and this is earlier this year. Tell me if I'm...
Yeah,
when is that?
earlier this year, probably like late January, early February.
All right. You got a baby.
Yeah, he was 1 at the time.
Your wife is in the middle of tax season, so she's probably working crazy hours.
Yep.
And you come home, nothing's really changed because that's just how shit is.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going back to your therapist. So what happens in the aftermath from then until, I mean, this is a big, broad question, but between winter 2025 and Chris stumbles upon a podcast called Suicide Noted and starts listening, and then we're talking, what's that been like?
It's been ups and downs. After that, I had to go into like an inpatient program for a few weeks to change up my meds. My old therapist was we talked about it. She was supposed to be taking me on. She talked to the people at the program because I'm supposed to have a therapist to go to after the program. She said yes. End of the program. It's like those conversations never happen. So now I had to go find a new one. I booked a few, talked to them, found the right one, and I've been with this one ever since, and she's been great. In the interim, we've been on a few trips as a big family. I was in the middle of a semester teaching, so I got pretty occupied with teaching, and that absorbed a lot of my time and brain space. Summer was kind of a blur. It's just like we went on a big trip to Canada, me, my wife, my parents, my brother and sister-in-law, and the baby. And that was great. And then I didn't really feel bad really until probably halfway through this semester. So like starting in November, October-ish. And now I'm like, I feel myself heading in that direction again. It kind of blows.
Does it just come from out of nowhere, does it feel like?
Sometimes with like transition periods, it happens, but like I just got a job as a high school teacher. So I think that the uncertainty there is like maybe triggering, I guess. It's probably seasonal, and other times it's been like, as a grad student and a teacher, you have summers where you have to kind of fill in the gaps and money's really tight. So that's that has been the impetus in the past, or the catalyst in the past, decade. having to like ask your parents for money, leaning on my wife and stuff. It's hard, to deal with mentally.
Why a new teaching job? Are you done with college for now in terms of teaching?
So I got my PhD 2 years ago, and in the interim, I've been trying to find full-time work, and it just hasn't worked out in academia. I've kind of cobbled together adjuncting gigs.
Do you guys, by the way, get a memo when you start your PhD and someone's honest with you and says the likelihood of you getting like a full-time faculty position is really fucking low?
It's an open conversation the whole time.
Yeah.
Which is why I'll say for myself, I won't say anybody with a PhD will tell you. If you're going to go and get an advanced degree, you better really fucking want it and not the job that comes. The big thing is that people like not taking seriously your knowledge area.
Yeah, right.
Or, or questioning why you would go to school. And it's like, unless it's for a job, and it's like,
right.
I get it. I get it. Like the debt is a lot. I totally get it. The expense is a lot, but like, it's not like a fucking vocational school. You're going to college, you're going there to learn stuff about the world. If you didn't want to learn about the world, you would go to vocational training where they teach you to do stuff and nothing else.
Let me reframe my question a little bit though.
Sure.
This is going to make it a little sensitive, but I think you can handle it.
Sure.
Your wife's an accountant.
Yep.
So she probably does okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say you're single.
Mm-hmm.
Now I asked that question. Your gut is the same. You're like, it's about people not appreciating, wanting to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Does the I need money part of it come in more if you're Chris living alone in a 1-bedroom apartment somewhere in New Jersey?
My motivation for education would still be the same, but I probably wouldn't have gone to grad school had my wife not gotten a good job out of undergrad.
It helps, obviously.
Yeah, I'm 100% honest about that, of course.
Did you meet on a dating app?
No, she lived above me. We were in an open air, like sort of like apartment complex, and I lived above her. And at the time I smoked cigarettes, and so did she. And she approached me for a cigarette, and then we just got to talking.
The rest is history, as they say. Who knew you'd have a baby?
Yeah, dude.
Did you guys smoke the same kind of cigarettes?
Yeah, honestly.
What did you smoke?
Parliament Lights.
You both smoked. I mean, if that's not a sign.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Only later she's really like, I love smart, bald smokers. That only came later. That only came later.
Yeah.
Does your wife know that you're having this conversation with me?
Yep.
What'd she say?
What do you want to get out of it? And why do you want to do it? That sort of thing. And then I gave her my answer, which is the same I gave you. And she sounds like a great idea. I'm very proud of you.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing you would expect from your partner, I would hope.
Yeah, she's decent people.
This isn't the marriage podcast, and if it were, I would be the worst host ever. But but that is what you want to hear from me. You want to marry at a minimum decent people.
Yeah. No, right? She drives me nuts, but like she is the best person I've ever met in my life, and that's why I married her.
Well, if she drives you nuts, what would she say about you, Chris?
Yeah. I don't know, honestly. I mean, she tells me what she thinks of me all the time, and it's always very positive things, mostly. Like, I'm an asshole, but, like, I'm, like, a decent asshole, you know what I mean?
Right. Ooh, so, not as good as Life is a Long Time, but decent asshole is not bad either.
Decent asshole.
What was it like for her? I assume she shared this with you at some point, learning that her husband was in the hospital because his therapist sent him there for suicidality. Yeah. What was that like for her? Do you know?
She panicked. She panicked given the situation. And then we really had to have some conversations with our couples therapist because at that point I was worried, like, is she going to be up my ass now? Like, how you doing? Are you okay? Oh, like that sort of thing. And which is, totally warranted, but like that drives you fucking nuts. We worked through it, and her initial reaction, yes, was panic, and that really sucked. Didn't feel good, but it's been okay.
So remember your therapist asked you one question that you answered, and that was enough to send you to the hospital, which I believe is, do you know how you would do it?
Yeah.
Do you think about how you would do it these days?
I still think the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same bridge? Why that bridge, not the other two?
Closest to my house, it's walking distance.
Oh, you live that close to the Walton Ridge?
Yep.
I mean, Chris, he wasn't a bad writer either.
He was not, no.
Not enough to get a PhD in, though.
Not enough to get a PhD. I'm better. You're right.
No, I'm not. No, I was comparing him to W.E.B. Du Bois, not you.
Oh, he's cool too.
Yeah. So one stay at a hospital for less than a day.
Mm-hmm.
Chances are, I'm guessing you won't go back unless you absolutely are forced to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sort of piggybacking on that, how many people know about the fact that you went to a hospital earlier this year and why you went there?
Same amount.
Yeah.
5-6
That's
ish.
that same core group, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Of them, and perhaps including others, I know that you know that they might know, and they know that Chris ideates sometimes, or that kind of thing. But how many people can you talk to about it and it be good? It's not just and it be good. It's even simpler. It's during and or after the conversation, you don't at a minimum feel worse. We're lowering the bar.
Not including my therapist too.
Can you tell your therapist that you're thinking about ending your life?
Can I? I think so.
Mm-hmm.
This one, yeah. Because I've told her other things that I would feel weird about saying otherwise, and I trust her very much.
That's good.
Yeah, no, because I've had some duds, man. I'm sure you have too.
Yeah, well, I stopped in part because of that.
Yeah.
Did she or others ever give you a quote unquote formal diagnosis that you think is correct or accurate?
Yeah. Major depression and generalized anxiety disorder.
God damn, those are popular.
Yeah, especially with my generation, right? Millennials.
Well, you'd be
because
close
millennials are just shit on. We're given we're given this awful hand, and then we're the most educated, least well off of the generation.
Yeah, you guys got screwed.
Fuck you.
What do the millennials say about Gen X?
That you're assholes.
Why?
Because you grew up emotionally stunted. It was still okay to beat your kids and mouth off. Your dad's probably screwed around on your moms. It's it's a whole thing.
And that's why we're assholes?
It's what I explain as you being, yes, how you became. Yes, sure.
I don't know how you're not adding this to your course curriculum as well.
Yeah, right.
It's gold. Work it in somehow, connect it to
That's
W.
What I'm saying. Yeah. I do work in age. It's definitely a thing. You could go anytime. So, I mean, my cousin died at 19. Her half-life was 8.5, or 9.5. I don't really believe in middle age. There's nothing saying that you're dying at 100 or 10 or 80, so.
Right. This is the cousin that died in the car accident?
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty fucking heavy.
Yeah. Her and our friend, they were 19 and 18 or 19 and 19. Yeah, it was awful.
It is awful, yeah. Since you've gotten out of the hospital, what's the closest you've come to walking towards that bridge?
I guess I could say that there have been maybe on one hand I could count the amount of times I've really thought about it and considered it. So maybe 2-3 times in the past year. One time where I got shoes on, it was the middle of the night, everyone was asleep, and I was ready and I just didn't. I decided not to.
What stopped you?
My son. I don't want him to grow up without a father. That's pretty much it.
Is that it? Because the next question I was going to ask kind of ties into that, and it's one that might be asked in very select academic circles, and one that apparently in the mental health community you have to be very careful to ask. But
okay,
why do you sometimes want to die?
It's changed. In the past, it was very, very, very poor self-image, just really not finding value in myself at all. Now it's much less that and more, I don't want to live in this world.
Oh, okay. So tell me more about this world. Yeah.
It's just very bitter and angry and hateful, all of the wrong things just keep happening and millions of people support it. And I can't. I've talked to my wife about moving out of here and heading towards a more civilized country. And it's not on the table. And that's been hard to deal with because that feels like an avenue that's cut off. But I don't know that there's anywhere that we could go. And I'd be like, yeah, this is the utopia, so.
Right. Well, that's probably true. And also, it's got to be weird, your feelings about the world and having a 2-year-old.
Yeah. I have immense guilt about that. Yeah. When I was a kid, even into my 20s, I didn't want kids for this reason. I don't want to bring more people into this shit show that's just, it seems like it gets worse all the time. And I just think it's, I was always very like, it's very selfish to choose to do that. And then I came around and did it. And now I feel really guilty about having done it sometimes. I feel like I did it for myself and not for the child that I did bring into the world. And now the mind fuck. It's a mind fuck.
I kind of feel bad for him because a lot of people shit on New Jersey and he's from New Jersey. I'm really being honest with you.
That's really going to be the thing that he's going to have to learn to deal with. Yeah.
That's fucking trauma, bro.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean? I mean, Staten Island is a whole other ballgame, but still, it's Jersey.
Yeah.
Well, I'm from Long Island. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't know that.
You can shit on me if you want.
No, that's fine. That's totally fine. I'll let you, the Gen Xer, be the asshole here.
That's perfect. We're so perfectly modeling what is.
Yeah.
Pink and purple pill. For the sake of the audience, and by the way, audience, if you need me to share this with you, it means you've never listened or you don't listen well. But I'm going to do it because I'm in a decent mood. I give Chris a pill. If he takes it, he goes to sleep. He doesn't wake up. There's absolutely no pain and nobody knows it's a suicide. That is generally the sort of framework of those questions, those components.
Mm-hmm.
It's December 6th, 2025, which is kind of astounding that another year has gone by. But I'm sounding rather cliche when I say things like that. Early afternoon, both Central and Eastern Standard Time, early to mid.
Mm-hmm.
There is some college football on that I want to go see after this, but we're not rushing this conversation. What would you do with the pink and purple pill today?
Today, I'd hold on to it.
It's risky, Chris.
Well, I'll probably need it for another day, not today.
Would you tell your wife that you have a pill like that?
No.
Is she going to hear this podcast?
Yeah, so I guess she'll know. Yeah.
Well, it's not a real pill. So.
It's not a real thing, so it's okay.
Well, the only issue is, not issue, is like, I've asked people this question who try to end their lives. And when we're talking, they're like, I'm kind of, I mean, I have my moments, but I'm cool to be alive. I'm like, so if you had that pill then, it would have worked. You wouldn't be alive. That's the thing about saving it that is like the big.
But, it's the ideation is a feeling, and some days you have it and some days you don't. And I'm tired of having it. Honestly, I don't really value too much like the age thing or like living long. Like I'd rather go young than old because in my experience, you just fucking fall apart. My biggest fear is like dementia, Alzheimer's, and I watched my granddad die of dementia and Parkinson's, and I don't want that. I have a less likelihood of dying of that at say 50 than when he died at 75, so or 78. So I'd rather not make it that long. So I'd hold on to it until I need it.
Audience should know, by the way, that you met your wife and married her when you were like in your late teens, early 20s, right?
I met her when I was 20, about to turn 21, and we dated for like 7 years before we got married. Yeah.
You said you have an addiction.
It's cigarettes. And alcoholism runs in the family, and I definitely feel it. Like if I have alcohol in the house, like it won't be in the house for very long. So I try to avoid it as much as possible because I feel it there. It's not like diagnosed or anything, but it runs in the family. I feel the pull.
So you don't drink?
I do. I just do it in moderation. But when I do, it's hard for me to stop.
When you go hard.
Yeah. Yep.
The other thing I wrote down was you said that ideation runs in your family, and we didn't talk about that. So who in your family has dealt with anything like this?
Yeah, I have an uncle who ideated. He probably still does. We haven't actually talked about it in too much depth in a while. But there was a period where he was ideating, and my mom's uncle. So my uncle is my mom's brother, and this uncle is his uncle too, and he actually did kill himself. He hanged himself on his son's birthday and put himself in a place where his son would find him on his birthday. So that's pretty great.
How old was your uncle when he did that?
I want to say his 50s.
And how old were you?
I was like 2 or 3 years old.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. And it wasn't really like talked about in the family when it happened. Or I mean, I was too young to know,
right,
or remember rather. But yeah,
exactly like your son with his dad going to the hospital.
Yo, yeah, right.
Yeah. It's like it's not a thing, and if it ever becomes a thing, he'll have to hear about it.
Right. I never even thought of that. That's
Oh, Chris, that's why I get paid a lot of money. Just like you with your work.
Right. Right.
Do you take any meds now for this?
Yeah.
How many meds?
2 daily, 1 as needed.
Mm-hmm. Think it's helping?
This round has been helping a bit. The last medication I was on stopped working, and that's why I had to switch it up.
We're just a big chemical stew, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, sometimes you got to fuck with the stew to make it taste good, right? So
Yeah, for sure.
my stew didn't taste good, so I needed some extra spice.
Okay, we got to stop with this stew. We got it.
Yeah.
It's not really working, but we get it. What was the name of your band when you were a teenager?
Oh, it was brilliant. From the Deep.
Yeah, it's not going to make the memoir cut.
No, it's not.
Life is a Long Time is still my favorite.
Life is a long time.
Especially when you're 34 and you don't necessarily want to die a natural death. In that, you don't want to get old and potentially have dementia or Alzheimer's or something.
Yeah. I would like it to be as painless and seamless as possible, not painful. Yeah.
Well, I think that, you know, one of the reasons I asked this question about the pink and purple pills, I talk about no pain, right? Because most people don't want pain, or I say no one knows it's a suicide because people don't want people to know that. But once in a while, someone will push back and say, oh, no, I want them to know it's a suicide.
Oh, no. I mean, I wouldn't care either way, I guess, because I'll be dead. But the attractive part of it is the painless thing.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And I think most humans, but the reason I shared that in part was also because once in a while I will have someone say like, I want there to be pain, which is surprising to me.
That is very surprising.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah. And then I'm like, yeah, but if you were actually in the moment, right? Because if you've broken your arm, you know how much it hurts, but it doesn't hurt now. So if you had that pain now, I'm like, you would probably be like, no, get rid of the pain.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. Quick digression. PhD. What does that mean?
Well, it's the Latin derivation. It's Doctor of Philosophy, but I think in Latin it's like I'm not even going to try. But the PH is philosophy, D is doctor.
So, do people call you doctor?
Absolutely, I earned that shit.
Dude, no, I'm just asking you if they use it.
Yeah.
And how does that feel for you? Do you feel like you're a doctor?
Yeah, I feel that it's definitely uplifting. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a point of pride.
But like legitimately, even in like a soft, subtle, somewhat non-confrontational way, do you ever kind of bring up with people in conversation that you're pretty fucking smart and those 3 letters come out?
No, I demonstrate it through practice.
like this conversation, some might say.
Yeah.
You are expressing, no. What in the world helps you feel better? And that may be nothing.
When I don't get too often, but when I get to play guitar, like for an extended period, as long or as short as I would like to, and as loud, that's when I feel the best.
Really?
Yeah, that's when I feel the best.
Now, I'm going to just tell you something here. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but your wife might hear this podcast.
Sure.
You want me to ask that question again?
My wife makes me feel great. So does my son.
I'm going to leave in everything that just happened, just so you know, okay?
Right. That's fine.
So if your wife hears it, she's also going to hear me say that I said she might be listening. Do you want me to change it?
She will know the answer before she even hears it.
Well, that's why she's your wife. Okay.
Exactly.
You've heard about 10 podcast episodes. You've been ideating for 20 years, and you're a smart dude. What are some of the bigger myths or misconceptions around ideating or suicide that you want to dispel, if any?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that, and I can't nothing that's not been said before.
Well, that doesn't matter because I'll ask you about it, and your answer is still unique.
Okay. It's hard to explain the pain that leads to that because it's not like, like you said, like you break your foot and that hurts. It's just like it's an overwhelming feeling of just isolation and being alone in the world. And just like sometimes it's like being so angry that it's like, fuck it. So I guess the myth is like it's just a single feeling. Like many things, it's a conglomeration of feelings that lead to a point. I guess that's where the ideation is. Right? It's like it's the amalgamation of so many feelings that are all bad feeling. It pushes you in a in a direction that there's no turning back from, and you have to really fight against it.
It'll probably be a few months before this comes out because I do it in the order usually that I speak with people.
Okay.
Do you think that you will listen to your own voice?
I don't know for how long, but yeah, probably.
And you said your wife might hear it.
She's told me that she can't wait to hear it. So
other than her, do you think you'll share it with other people? And this is not my way of trying to get new listeners, by the way. I'm just truly curious how it might show up for you in your life.
Yeah. I don't know. I have thought about it. I don't think I'm going to like hide that I did it or anything. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if other people will.
When's your birthday?
November.
You're 34. You don't want to die an old man. We don't know for sure if you're going to die a quote natural death, but I think as we're talking now, it seems as if you're more likely to than not.
Yeah. I hope it's not too long in the future, but yeah, I would hope. I don't want to get like hit by a bus.
Do you think that suicide could ever be considered a natural death?
Ooh, that's a good question, Sean.
Thank you, Chris.
I mean, it is your brain trying to kill itself. And then the struggle against it is your brain trying to kill itself but make it stop. So it's
same brain.
Yeah, it's the same brain. I guess, yeah. I mean, if like cancer is natural causes, that's sort of like a biological process. So yeah, a case could be made, Sean.
A case could be made. That would be more of an academic memoir title.
Yeah.
Right now, yours is. I think we're going to go with. it's like I'm some asshole publisher because I'm Gen X, so that's a given.
Right. Exactly.
Life is a very long time. We got to work on a subtitle. We'll italicize it, make it look fancy.
Yeah.
It's not going to be one of these academic research things that God knows most of the world doesn't give a shit about.
Title.
Your community does, and that's your world. So I don't mean to rip on it. It's just foreign to me.
I don't even know why the subtitle title thing is such a big thing with us. It's even in the papers, and
but memoirs too.
And memoirs too.
You know why? The head title is the one where it's like, "Fuck, I want to read this book," but then the subtitle, you have to explain a little bit.
Right. You got to reveal. Right.
So, just enough, like a breadcrumb. You're like, ooh. Life is a very long time. Wait, what does that mean? And it's something a little bit more specific to Chris.
Yeah. Or decent asshole. I mean, that could be a lot of things.
Yeah. Then often the subtitles begin to like, how?
Right.
How a decent asshole from became, I'll tell you what your subtitle won't and can't be.
Okay.
Or title, memoir title.
Sure.
It is what a recent guest of mine was that I already brought up because I don't think any of these apply to you, but I don't know for sure.
Okay.
Bullied behind bars, a gay Christian Trump supporter. ...
Decent asshole.
we didn't get into religion, but here's what I know: you're an academic, so you might have been, and I can see your last name, so I'm pretty sure your folks are Catholic.
Yeah,
but I don't think you believe in it.
No.
So I think you're the opposite of that book title.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, that doesn't make you a bully.
No.
Almost exactly. Never in jail, not gay. We don't have to ask if you've experimented, but we've all played around a little bit. Not Christian, and I think despite being from Staten Island, not a Trump supporter.
Sure as fuck not a Trump supporter, no.
That we want to make clear. I have a feeling when you were talking about the state of the world, that was not a small part of it.
Yeah, no. After the election, that was a big spiral. That was bad.
Yeah, man. And in Jersey, too. Jersey's blue, but there are these definite pockets of red.
Yeah. It's the Pineys, the people living in the Pine Barrens. They're very deep red.
Is that right? Any idea why?
They live very far from civilization. They're in the woods. I don't know.
So, ergo, what does that mean about people who vote for Trump in terms of their connection to civilization?
Ergo, they care about themselves. I've boiled it down to you're either a fucking asshole, a dumb fuck, or both. So that's pretty much, that sums it up.
Full transparency here. I just wanted to use a Latin word with you.
Uh-huh.
And ergo checks that box.
That's a good one. I get the dialogue and the talking. It's been 10 years of this. And if this amount of people is still getting persuaded to vote for this, I don't know what more can be said. I don't know. I mean, I want to see the light at the end of the tunnel and everything, but it's just like, I'm sorry. Like, it really does. Like, every excuse that I can think of for why you go for that, it does come back down to, for me, when I
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
reason it out,
mm-hmm,
it comes back to, you either don't have a very solid, firm understanding of how things work,
mm-hmm,
ergo dumb,
mm-hmm,
or you're with it and then you're a piece of shit.
mm-hmm,
Or not, you are very, very gullible,
mm-hmm.
and the hate is persuasive to you. So
Okay.
you're dumb and a piece of shit. So
All right. I'm gonna put you on the spot.
okay,
Um, Probably you didn't prepare for this. I understand.
sure,
And again, you get to cut anything out of the podcast you don't want me to include.
sure,
You have studied, you're a humanities guy.
yeah,
You have studied history.
yes,
You have taught history.
yes.
I assume that includes sort of like big macro ideas and some whatever.
Hmm.
Tell me how it is we got to be where we are. Like talk to me like I'm a third grader again, or maybe a fifth grader, but not one in New Jersey because you guys are really smart. So maybe like a fourth grader in New Jersey. It's fine.
A group of people decided that they would pursue a political direction that would tap into people's worst instincts.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of money and a lot of energy went into manufacturing that population of people in the general public over a period of decades. And this is the byproduct of that effort. I would pinpoint it in the 70s, maybe
Me
like
too.
mid 60s. I think a lot of it has to do with a backlash to the civil rights movement. So that's
Mhm.
why I say the 60s. A lot of it has to do with the labor gains of the 40s, 50s, 60s. And then if you really want to go crazy, it's like a lot of it is a reaction to Reconstruction,
And
1870.
that's going back to like, 100
Yeah.
and whatever
So
years ago.
at that point, it's kind of, it's a through line, and it's just at some point you kind of just have to look at it like there just is in the world certain types of people.
What I was thinking about, I've done, I think what I was thinking of, and it's aligned, but it's probably a well, I know it's a much simpler and
Okay.
probably naive and by no means original thought at all.
Okay. Okay.
I think you have two things concurrently happening and I don't know how you feel about this because again, I'm not very smart with shit like this, but schooling,
Hmm.
not just like what we're taught, but how we're taught. But that's aligned with what you're saying. That's not misaligned with what you're saying because
Hmm.
that starts when you're very, very young. And so now decades later, these are adults or they're even dead and they have kids, grandkids, and they get,
Yeah.
okay. So big, huge institution, right? Huge.
Yeah.
That's just obviously one part of, I think, what you were talking about in terms of a larger landscape, politically,
Oh yeah.
educationally. I do wonder, and I know people spend their lives studying this, sort of the impact of, I don't want to use the word capitalism, but I do want to use the word of this like hyper focused system of competitiveness, hyper focused individualism, and just that whole generations of that thinking. I just feel like it plays a part because
Oh yeah.
you ultimately leads to it's got to I come first.
If you build a society predicated on selfishness and personal gain, what do you think the outcome is going to be? So the whole like human nature element of it is just look at what people do, and that's human nature. Period. People wouldn't be doing it if it was not in their nature to do it. So it really comes down to how people choose to organize themselves and build the world that they live in. And if you build a world that taps into and incentivizes greed, radical self-interest, you can't be surprised when that is the thing that proliferates. And you
Right.
see people in high places who are belligerents and fucking morons, but they're successful.
You're 34 years old. This doesn't really matter how old you are, I guess, but every generation has, this might be the more like every generation has these like, oh, when I was a kid, it was different, right? The world is going to be, and it has never actually happened that the world ended yet.
Yeah.
They weren't right. They weren't right.
Yeah.
The kids who were never going to learn how to read, most of them learned how to read, right?
Right.
All of them that were going to grow up to be criminals, a small percentage, probably a similar percentage, grew up to be criminals, right?
Right.
But do you think there's a tipping point of sorts? Because I'm not in my 30s, and I'm not super well read and super, but I observe. I'm an observer. I love having these kinds of conversations, so I kind of learn
Okay.
from other people more like this, right? This feels a little different, and I don't know if it's something that becomes a permanent, like this legitimately is the quote beginning of the end, whatever. But because you have a large, not a little, group in a cabin in fucking Montana.
Yeah.
You have a huge percentage of people and a huge chunk of other things that are important, like media
Yeah.
and all of the other things that are like all saying this is okay. In fact, it's good.
Yeah. Right. Aligned. Yeah. There's like an alignment. Yeah.
And then you had the weirdest thing of all, which is just the algorithm, the idea of algorithms.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially these little ecosystems in which people are,
Yeah.
whether they realize it or not. So for me, those things, like, I think actually we're done. And it may be 200 years from now, I don't know, but I don't think you come back from this. I don't.
I don't disagree with you. I mean, we're definitely in a country in decline. I don't think that that's like a secret. Yeah, it's not a debate. We're a country or an empire in decline. The one saving grace that I take out of it is this past the midterm elections, the Dems wiped the floor. I think there's an inkling because a lot of the policies that these people are putting in place are hurting their constituency, and they're feeling it and they're realizing it. A lot of these GOP senators are not running for reelection. A bunch of them have retired early, and they see the writing on the wall. And Trump is not a spry chicken. He's a 79-year-old with mystery bruises on his hands. So, and cankles, So like
that, to me, in the larger scope of the real big issues here, this feels like a little correction. Okay, it's a little correction, but it feels like the larger structures might be too crumbling.
I do.
I just wonder how you teach classes around this shit. I mean, maybe it's a little, I don't know what you're teaching in high
Yeah.
school. I imagine, is it going to be history?
Yeah, it's social studies. Yeah.
God damn, do they let you bring in your own stuff?
Yeah, I mean, there's a curriculum that we have to follow. Obviously, that's the, what do they call it? The New Jersey core curriculum, or whatever the fuck it's called. There's principles that you have to abide by, but the school that I'm about to start at is actually very teacher and student centered, where like they promote innovative sort of teaching and approaches. So that's I'm lucky.
Yeah, well, for sure.
Yeah.
So you can bring in your own material, and
to an extent, I'm sure.
To an extent.
Yeah, but yeah. But the way I chose to do my world history course this year and my African American history course, it mirrored what we're going through now. Like my world history course, I started with, I started with the Black Death, and I took time to show how, like, what it did to the world besides kill a lot of people. And I made it very explicit. I was like, I stopped the lesson at one point. I was like, okay, so now think of our own plague, think of COVID, and it didn't kill nearly as many people, right? In terms of proportionality. Think of what that did to us. And now you'll start to understand what we're going through a little bit.
Right.
So during the plague, people were scapegoated. They blamed the Jews in Western Europe, and they got pogroms and things like that. And the church, the Catholic Church, lost its power. Frankly, it gained a lot of wealth, but it also led to the Reformation. The Reformation led to the fracturing of Europe, but it also got them out from under the yoke of the Catholic Church. So that's a hegemon that's getting unseated. And then I ended the course just recently with World War I. And there's a through line there. You may not, I guess my point is that you may not know what the long-term effect is ever, but these things happen and human beings are still here.
But in 1965 compared to 2025, the likelihood of meeting a stranger at a cafe and having an interesting conversation was more likely then than now. Just do you know how to have a conversation? Can you talk about intelligent things?
Right.
You don't need to quote anybody famous. And outside of Du Bois, if you can bring in one outside source to your class, who would it be?
Matthew Desmond has a lot of smart things to say about poverty right now. I don't always like his solutions. I think they're a little milquetoast, but I think he's a great communicator. And he talks about the right things. I still look up to and I love Bernie Sanders.
Wow. Yeah.
I think he is an effective communicator. Tonality of like, an old Brooklyn Jew is really relatable to a lot of people.
You'd sound a tiny bit more like him if your family never left.
Yeah. So I think he's an effective speaker on, again, the right issues. And I think AOC is a great communicator on those things, although she was really disappointing in terms of how she handled the Gaza-Israel situation. In an earlier time, I would have said like a Noam Chomsky.
Who's going to be the president in 2028? And then I'm saying goodbye.
I don't know. I'm afraid. I don't know. No idea. I know that Gavin Newsom is going to run. He's the only one I know for sure is going to be running.
Yeah. They'll start coming up. Put your video on real quick so I can see it before I say goodbye. Oh, well, let me see your tattoo real quick. What does that mean?
This is my cousin's name.
Oh, nice.
And that's my son's handprint.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Are we good? Anything else you want to share before we go?
I know at the beginning we said that the whole thing with mental health is like, oh, speak to someone, reach out, People are not alone, and you have to work. You have to work to find the people that you can confide in and that will help you. So don't think that things are hopeless just because you've found some assholes. There are decent assholes. And I'm going to keep coming back to that one.
Find the decent. Find the decent assholes if you can. You try.
If you can.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
It was great.
It was. All right, my man. Hope the rest of your day is decent, and hope to talk soon.
All right, man. I'll talk to you.
As always, thanks so much for listening and all of your support. And special thanks to Chris in New Jersey. Thanks, Chris. If you are a suicide attempt survivor or ideator and you'd like to talk, I'd love to talk with you. Please reach out. hello@suicidenoted.com. Check out our weekly poll on Spotify. And if you think we've deserved it, please give us a 5-star rating on Apple. It helps people find the podcast. And of course, that is what we want. That is all for this week's episode. Stay strong. Do the best you can. I'll talk to you soon.